Okay. Whew. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Now, this is my official first Mind in a Minute extension. I'll call it extended. So, it's my first time. I'm probably going to make a lot of mistakes along the way. But hey, this is part of the process, right? So, this is going to be a once a week segment where I'm going to do a bit more of an expansion and expound upon some of the points that I've been talking about during the week on my Instagram videos, just so I can, yeah, just express a little bit more about what I was talking about. Because sometimes trying to cram it into a minute is not really the easiest thing to do. So I just touched base on it. I did 4 videos this week. I didn't start on the Sunday, but I'll go through the videos of what we talked about, and just kind of, yeah, have a little breakdown a little bit more. So starting off, one of the videos was stepping into your power and living your dream. And the idea sounds good, right? To live your dream and to step into your power. Um, but there are so many things in our way that are holding us back from stepping into our power, stepping into, that potential, whatever it is. We all know that we have potential, but how do we be that potential, Like, how do we how do we attempt to be that person that we really want to strive to be towards? So I'll do a bit more. I guess I'll blend all the points. It might all just kind of come into one, but I'll talk about all of them in general. Um, and that idea of blending and coming back into yourself is overcoming the self, right? So it's going in, the new age movement might be like talking about how it's all about bliss and love and following your bliss and everything like that. And that's a half truth, all truths are but half truths, because words can only express one side of the equation. But yes, follow your bliss in the sense of that feeling that gives you, you know, the feeling that you're living the dream. And that's what I mean, live your dream. I don't mean like, because I'm trying to pursue a career towards acting, and, I'm doing music and everything. But, maybe sometimes the dream is not just to be a Hollywood star, but it's to be on the pursuit. On the pursuit of happiness is the dream, that you're on the path. Destination, what is destination, How long is a ball of string? Like, you know, how do you know when you're getting there? How do you know that that's going to be happiness? But what I'm recognizing more and more is that happiness and living the dream is to be on the path, and that you are slowly, because this dimension, third dimension, takes, you know, if you're thinking inside the brain, whatever you want to call it, that infinitum space, it can, boom, ideas happen like that, right? Um, but in this reality, it takes time to physically construct something, to put things into play, to move the wheels and create that momentum, It really takes a lot of time and effort and energy. So, to learn to be patient with yourself. But when you're on that path, I feel that you're there, You know when you love someone, or you just know when you love something. Something that is unspoken is inside of you that is telling you that, okay, cool. This is resonating with me, This is real. This is. I used to think back in high school, they would talk about, business studies and what you're going to do in the future. And, I couldn't I couldn't really sit there and be like, okay, there's this one career that's going to satisfy my dream, like a job that can satisfy all that I want to be, like it seemed like it wasn't going to step up to the plate. So I was so disinterested in the whole thing, but that's what I mean, that it's about being on the path, walking the path, knowing what you want, and feeling, and yes, feeling that satisfactory connection with it. But the thing is, it's not all sunshines and rainbows. You're gonna have to go through some shit. You're gonna have to go through some hard times and some tough times. But my father said this, right? He said, look, being in love with someone, being in a relationship with someone, it's about making sacrifices. But when you truly love someone, that doesn't really feel like a sacrifice. You know, that that's something that you want to do because it's meaningful, and that sense of meaning that you have, you know, if it's something towards a pursuit that you are happy to do, then I feel the effort and time and energy that you want to put into it is going to be worthwhile, and you're willing and you are happy to put that time and energy in, as tough as it may be. And that's where the battle of the mind is going to happen. That is the battlefield, is when you're doing the thing that you want to do, right? The idea sounds great. Idea sounds great. I want to create that table, or I want to make something, Idea sounds great, but then you're struck with a challenge of, I'm going to make a little thing for my garden tomorrow, like a roof, so that my passion fruit vines can crawl onto it. But you know what? To make that, you're going to have to saw the timber, you're going to have to clean it up, you're going to have to tie it up, you're going to have to wrap it and hang it, and, it's going to be hot in the sun, and you're doing all these laborious tasks. So the process is not an easy process. Nothing is easy, and that's a small task. If you're trying to accomplish your dream, like, what do you want? That's the big question that you get asked first. Like, what do you want? But that process is going to be a very difficult process, and you're going to have to face yourself. I practice Vipassana meditation, and the big thing in Vipassana is that the process is not to avoid nor to attach to any sensation that's happening in your body, right? To anything that's happening in your body, you don't want to avoid, like, something arises, you're like, oh man, that's difficult. Like, I don't want to be dealing with that. You avoid it, but then that means you are pushing it into the corner, into a dark spot of your mind, and you just neglect it. It builds cobwebs, and sooner or later, you can't stop these things coming to the surface because the life force that flows through us, that is perpetuating life energy through the cosmos, through us, it's constantly, it's like a hot spring, The water's coming out, it's constantly moving. And if you're trying to, like, suppress this, put a plug on this thing that wants to come out, like, you see that? You see that pressure that's building there? And it's it's wanting to, but you don't want to, because, this is a revealer, this is the potential. This is a power, and it holds the key to your potential in this wellspring, in this fountain, and you may be afraid of how much power that is, you know? That could be a very challenging thing to face, that you could accomplish your dreams. You could be happy. You accept the love you think you deserve. We put ourselves on a plateau right here when we deserve to be living up here. We deserve to be loved, to love, have a great life, to be happy, happy family. We deserve these things. Every single human being deserves to have these things. I'm not saying that everyone should be a multimillionaire, everything like that, but everyone deserves to be happy. Yet, we're like, oh, I don't know, man. Like, I did this and I did that, and, I don't know if I can or whatnot, like, the masters are able to push through these insecurities and barriers that are inside of their brains, challenge themselves, and see their fears, see the darkness, own it, look it in the eye, and say, what's up? You're a freaky dude, you know? That dark side, the shadow, it's kind of freaky. It's the unknown world. It's a world you have no idea about. But you have to step in there and go find whatever it is that is hidden in there. The gems and gold. And that gold is a gold that's going to let you shine. That's going to give you power, you know? So, it is really challenging and difficult. But that's that whole idea of, if you know that this is the right thing to be doing, then you are willing to put the work in towards that dream, because that dream is something that is fulfilling your need to be part of something and to be participating in something, you know? So that's what I mean by, stepping into your power, and try and be the dream. Be the dream every single moment of your day. Be that dream. It doesn't have to be on the weekend that you get to enjoy, like, and this is the whole thing about a job, what kind of job do you do? Like, are you happy in your job? Like, money? is a necessity in this world right now that we have to make money to pay rent and survive. Um, so what do you do to make money? How much money do you need? How much money do you want? What do you want to do with that money? What is money to you? What does it mean to you? Do you even like it? Do you even want it? Some people don't want it. Some people want it. Some people want dreams to come into fruition, and those dreams might be expensive. I want to build a hotel so that I can facilitate people to have a very enjoyable experience, you know? Um, and just be mindful about what we want in life as well, we crave things because a lot of it comes from our insecurities, and it's trying to satisfy yeah, it's just trying to satisfy just a shallow, or not shallow, it's just the insecurity, We're missing that void. So we're like, I want, the fancy car because, it'll it'll make me look like I'm successful, you know, and rich. And that's a interesting word, rich. Like, I feel rich, right? I ain't rich, like money rich, but I feel rich every day. And sure, I get lost in my mind, I caught up in my thoughts, but I can take a moment. I've learned certain skills that help me to slow down, breathe, see, look, hear, touch, notice where you are, be attentive to that moment. Just see how darn sacred it is. The bittersweetness of life is that nothing lasts forever, this moment. And that's that whole thing about don't crave things, don't attach to it. It's so beautiful, right? You see a sunset, or you're seeing a river flow, and you just, staring at this river. And it's just becoming so, you're just becoming a part of it. And it's so relaxing, It's so soothing. So soothing. You can't be at that river for eternity. You gotta go do other stuff. But if you start craving the river, you're like, I want to be by the river, I want to be by the river. Suffering, 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 right? So acknowledging that that moment is not there forever is the bittersweetness of life and the sacredness and special feeling of life. And it's like a dream. You can have moments where you almost can't believe where you are, you know? You feel that, geez, how did I get here? How did I get to this position I am in right now to be able to have this experience? And then you reflect on all the things that happened in your life. And this is when you look at all the things that happened in your life and you say, well, there were a lot of tough times that I went through, difficult moments, scary, angry, frustrating, embarrassing, regretful moments. Yet, if I hadn't walked that path, I would not be here to be the person I am, to have the experiences I am currently in this moment. And if you can appreciate your moment for what it is, then you realize that all of that was worth it. It was worth it, and that's why I don't avoid things. And this is where you don't, push away anything into the corner of your mind, or something challenging comes up. You don't, steer away from it, because that's there to show you what you're fearful of, but also to help you, to guide you into your power, into your center, into yourself, and be in touch with yourself. And every single day, I learn something about myself. Every single day, as long as I'm putting myself out there, I'm putting myself in a position where it's a little bit tough. I used to be really tough with myself, like expectations are so high. I was killing myself, Every single day I wasn't happy. I was doing so much things, but I wasn't happy. But now it's just that slight push every day, and be really attentive to your body, really attentive to your mind, and don't hurt yourself, because then you've missed the point, you know. You've missed the point of what it's all about, to be peaceful. Do I have to be 80 to be peaceful? What, am I going to wait till retirement and then I can be at peace? Hell no. I'll be peaceful now. So I keep saying be at peace, because that's important. Contentment, it's an interesting thing. Yeah. If you're too contented, then you might not have the perpetual energy to get you going, That's why pushing yourself a little bit. seeing those challenges, and that moment of staring at eye to eye into the devil's eyes and be like, I see you. I see you. You might be hiding over here or here. You're trying to avoid me, but man, I'm seeing you, and you ain't going nowhere. You're the element of it. There is the night and day. You can't take away the night. Then there will be all day, and there's no difference. Night and day are coexistent with each other. So you can't eradicate the night. So you got to make peace with the night and learn what the night has to offer. What kind of energies dwell in the night? What kind of creatures dwell in the nighttime? Different kind of animals come at that time. Different feelings at nighttime. You get to see the stars at nighttime. See the moon. So there's positive elements to the shadow that you can tap into as well. So the light and the darkness, balance. Equal balance of both. So face it and know that it's a it's like an abyss, of there's this challenge here, but the moment you unveil that, there's a challenge here. The moment you unveil that, boom, another one. And it's constantly here to challenge you and push you. That there's always more work to be done. Always more work to be done. Even the great ones, even the enlightened ones, just because they have reached a certain state, doesn't mean they don't make mistakes. I was reading how even the Buddha, was taking his disciples, but he had been offered to go to dinner with someone, yet someone else had offered him and his disciples rice milk and honey. I forgot what it was, sweet lumps of honey, and he decided to eat them. He allowed the disciples the sangha, to eat the rice milk and the honey lumps, but then they went to the dinner and they're all full, and he's just like, well, we no, we don't need a big bang. This is a rich man. He's a rich man, and he had a big feast. It's like, I'm going to give the Buddha and his disciples a large feast that they'll highly enjoy. And, you know, Buddha still went there, and he's like, look, we've just actually had rice milk and honey lumps, so we actually can't eat that much. He's very offended. The man was very offended. He's like, what? You knew you were coming here, and I was going to feed you people, your holiness, and your disciples, and you ate rice milk and honey lumps. Why would you do this? And look, the Buddha ate, and then Buddha's just like, this is very fair. So, the man's like, no, you eat the food. I've supplied it. Please eat the food. And they go, okay, I ate the food. And then so, the Buddha was just like, okay, that's my bad. Yeah, that's my bad. If we knew that this was going to happen, we just got to be more attentive and not fill our bellies. So mistakes and learnings will always be there. Because if there is a point that you can't grow anymore, then what's the point? The universe would cease itself to be. There's no such thing. The universe ain't ceasing itself to be. It may, there's an idea. Who knows? But in this moment, it seems like it's not ceasing to be, and I don't see it ceasing anytime to be now. So it continues. Constant growth. Always, every single day. So that's why, don't push the growth. Don't, just allow the change to happen. Because it is happening. Nonetheless, if you open up your mind, open up yourself to the change, you are changing. You are changing. So by forcing it, you're craving. You're craving something in the future, which means maybe not being attentive to your moment. So that's another point of one of the videos I was talking about, is focusing on the moment. Not getting too caught up in the things that you don't have control over. A reality which is beyond your capacity to manipulate. The past. It's got nothing, it's the past. You can't change it. You can learn from it, but you can't change it. And the future, this is an idea of the future that you want to live. But now, those are goals. You want to have future goals and the idea you want to work towards. But, if you're like, I want this future, some people can do it, and I don't see anything wrong with that. I have a quote here. It was in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Obi-Wan Kenobi said to Qui-Gon Jinn, he's like, but Master, you told me to be, you told me to be mindful of the future. And then Qui-Gon Jinn was just like, yes, Obi-Wan, but not at the sake of the present. So be attentive, Be attentive to what happened before. Be attentive to what's happening in the future. but not at the sake of this moment. This is the building blocks of what that will be. So if you are attentive and articulate, meticulous to the task that you are accomplishing and trying to achieve right now here, that's the energy and that's the foundations that you are laying for the future that you're trying to achieve or you are setting yourself to go towards. So be mindful, yes, of where you want to go. Know a certain idea or understanding. I want, but some people, like, once again, everyone is different. These are all my thoughts. These are my way of understanding reality. This is no, this is not dogma. This is not like this is how it is or anything. These are my ideas. This is how I'm understanding certain things, right? So I just want to share, and if you take it, sure, whatever. If you don't, whatever. I just want to share this sort of stuff. I think about this stuff all the time. It's always on my brain. It's always on my mind. I'm always thinking about it, and it helps me. Like, sure, I struggle, but it helps me. Like, a lot of the time, I'm in the shit, I'm in the pits, but I can get myself out because I have this understanding. So I just want to share this understanding. And if you can take something from this and partake in this sort of knowledge as well, then I'm so happy for that. But once again, you have to know for yourself. You ask yourself, question yourself, what's happening? What am I doing? Why am I doing this? Why do I even want to do this? We get so caught up in everything, man. Life happens. I was talking to my friend yesterday about how the system is over. Like, I'm sure everyone already knows this sort of stuff, like they bombard you with these ideas and advertising of like what, you know, they've created this reality in front of our eyes, like shopping centers, malls, and monies and dollars and food and the way that it is, but doesn't mean that that's the way it should be or that that's the best way that it can be. We accept, people accept this reality and say, okay, well, this is reality, but I'm like, mate, there are a lot of different realities. People that travel all over the world, I'm sure, are very attentive to that point that there are a lot of different realities, a lot of different ways to live life. This is not the only way to live life. And over there, that's not the only way to live life. So, you know, there's no has to be the way to do anything. You choose. Make up your own mind. Think for yourself. Don't fucking listen to me. Make up your own mind. Pardon my swearing. But make up your own mind. Think for yourself. Ask yourself the question. You know the answer. And if you don't know the answer, at least you know the question. At least you know the question. Because once an answer is given, it's like that door. Ah, an answer. Woi. Next question. So keep asking questions. Questions, a question, a question. But like, if you're on a good flow, if you're on a good roll, and this is another point, one of the other videos of grabbing momentum, right? When you're on the ball and you've got momentum rolling, questioning is good, but stay with the momentum. That energy is most important. When things are happening, that's what's most important. Stay with that. And keep in touch with your gut instinct. That whole 80% full, the belly thing. That's a very important link from your gut to your brain. So keep that clean as best as possible. And when it's rolling, man, like, go with it. And when you're not rolling with it, that's when you use your intelligence. Why am I not rolling with it? What's going on? Why, like, there are ups and downs in life as well, and just take it as is. So, in those moments where it's rolling and you got momentum flowing, then try not to overthink those areas. Try not to think about it too much if it's happening, because that could actually stifle your momentum. I've done that many a times in my life, and as a skateboarder, if you are thinking way too much when you're flowing in that bowl, you're going pretty fast and you think, oh, what should I do? You're off. Dead. You stack it and fall. You might, slip out or whatever. But when it's going, when the energy's moving, move with it. Go with it. It can teach you things. So learn with that and try and step outside from the thoughts. Now, the last point, which is a video that I made today, was that physical touch, right? Physicality, being in touch with the being, and the being is the body. So, in Vipassana, we start with Anapana, learning to observe respiration. Respiration is truth, right? You can deny that as much as you like, but the moment you stop breathing, You're not part of this world anymore. You know, so that's a truth of reality, of existence, and how it is perpetuating your breath. It's a very key cornerstone of life. So that's real. To observe your respiration. Okay, yeah. That's in, that's out. That's in, that's out. That's in. It's a bit more coming in the right nostril. Yep, that's in, that's out. And observing these truths, right? Very simple truths. And then from then you start to observe the sensations of what's happening around that area. Just here, you start feeling it. I can feel like a tingling from the breeze, the air goes through my nose or something like that. So that sensation is, and I'm going to go too deep in this because this is a whole another section, but those sensations, our whole experience is linked to our sensations, our visual sensation. We feel, visual sensation, smell sensation, the sensations of listening, the hearing faculties, and these are all coded into our sensations. So being in touch with that, being in touch with the senses, come back to your senses. Common sense. It's your senses, right? Being in touch with that, being in touch with the body. We're so in our brains. We are so in our brains. We think so much all the time. And that's that overthinking thing, stifling ourselves, you know? And oh God, this, and that, and killing our own brain. So, but building momentum, getting back into the body, getting in touch with who you are and try and stay with it as best as possible. If you have a practice, you exercise or whatever that gets you into your body, do that. And remember those feelings. And when you're out and about, that's the day-to-day walking meditation is when you're out and about and you just remind yourself, oh, feel the earth underneath my feet. Or when the breeze comes, feel that. And embracing people, that whole getting in touch with people and embracing others, overcoming, because when you have to feel it, right, you feel life, that's life. And you're dealing with reality. You're dealing with the truth when you're dealing with your senses. And it's really overwhelming sometimes that you can get some pretty intense sensations like, oh Jesus, but don't avoid it. Face it, look it eye in the eye. And always trust that all things do not last forever. Nothing lasts forever. Impermanence is goddamn truth. Nothing bad lasts forever, nothing good lasts forever. Bittersweet, right? So embrace those moments, hug people a little bit longer. Look at people in the eye. Feel what it means to connect with yourself and with others and feel that intensity rise within you and know that that is, you know, that's a part of you. So the moment you don't want to deal with it, the moment you're denying a part of yourself. Don't deny anything about yourself. Accept yourself. Accept yourself for every faculty, every mistake that you've ever made, every wrongdoing you think you've ever done, every feeling that you feel. Accept it, look at it, and continue to move. Continue to move. Don't stop. Don't get stuck on it. Don't get attached to it. It can be a very nice feeling. But then if you want to cling to it, then you're stuck to it. So it's tough. It's tough, man. Life is always changing. So it's really hard to stay with that all the time. But you get used to it. You practice, you know? You get to be in touch with yourself a little bit more. And maybe next time I'll talk about the whole, the sexuality thing that, physical touch, the intimacy thing. Like, that's a big thing for me. It was back in the day and still now, like, but I'm getting better at it. I'm getting better at observing that moment where I'm feeling awkward because, if I hug someone and it's, the idea that it's becoming sexual or it's intimate because it's an intimate space, you observe it, you don't let it get the better of you, you keep equanimous, which is an equal mind, and you just observe it and let it flow, do its thing, and guess what? It dissipates. It changes and becomes something, and it becomes something else, and then you're just left there with an embrace with yourself and with other, and you're like, wow, I've just opened up another part of myself, you know, another channel of who I am, and you know, breaking boundaries within yourself, and it's a challenging path, but nothing could be more worthwhile in my eyes. Living the dream, for me, is facing myself, you know, being who I am, being who I want to be, and doing what I need to do. JT Fox told me, or he said it at the wealth coach thing I was at, don't do what you want to do what you need to do. And that need, we have a need in us. We need things. We need this. Yeah, we want love. We need to be participating. We really want to participate, but follow the need, you know, the need to excel or whatever it is, whatever it is. For me to these days to do the work that if I don't do it, if I don't do my work, then I get all down and sad and all up in my brain again. So to be happy and to be on my pursuit of happiness, I need to be doing that work. I want to be doing that work. So want to need is a very fine thing, but keep going. Face your challenges every single day. It's tough, but nothing could be more worthwhile. Be with it. Be at peace. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much. Yeah, it didn't turn out so bad, did it? That is Mind in a Minute Extended. I'm going to be doing this every week, every Sunday. Little half an hour breakdown of our points that we've been discussing throughout the week. Have a little chat. Leave comments. You want me to bring something up next time? Let me know. I'll do my best. Leave comments in my Instagram video as well. I'll do my best to bring it up in these sort of videos. So, hope you enjoyed it. Be at peace. Peace.